You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am one half of the host of The Burning Truth, and with me, once again,
is the other half. That's right, ladies and gents. He's Matt Burns. I'm the voice of reason, John Bloor, and this is The Burning Truth. Your weekly roundup of pro wrestling and our very unique and probably, hopefully, maybe soon to be award-winning take on it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Welcome, everybody. We are live from the backwater in Ormadome for Monday. Wait, what? It's Monday?
Monday?
Yes.
I was about to say, hang on, Monday?
Just in case anyone is listening and going, what? Yeah. What? Yeah. Mr. Matt Burns, being as he is, active wrestler, manager, tag team superstar, all-round British wrestling legend, and general busybody.
And let me just state this: I'm not stating I'm all them at all.
No, that's on me. I'm just David Starr can have a big flashy 20-minute introduction. I figured you deserve one. The point being, Matt Burns is busy. He was at a lot of wrestling shows over the weekend, which we will mention during the course of today's show. But that just meant that essentially, you could, to quote good old JR, folded him up and used him as an accordion yesterday. He was that knackered. So we needed to postpone by a day just to let him get his breath back, because a wrestling superstar he may be, but Superman he is not.
It was basically to the point of, we could have pushed an episode out, but it wouldn't have been any good.
We figured with an extra day's rest and a bit more time to draw breath and consider that today's show would have been far, far better. So that's what we went for.
And slightly recover from some of the savage beatings,
which you brought about yourself. That's what you take the risk of with pro wrestling, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does.
You win some, you lose some. You do spectacularly well, and you get savage beatings. It's both sides of the coin. You can't escape one or the other.
In some cases, you can have a bad weekend. Mine wasn't
yes. You had a great weekend, but...
No. I had a great weekend being at shows and entertaining fans.
Just not necessarily a perfect weekend results-wise.
Yeah,
I get that. More about that later. I think, are we going to do the UK wrestling stuff towards the end of the show?
I'd say put that near the end, more so at the end.
Yeah, but to start with, I think there's quite a lot of across the pond stuff to consider, isn't there?
Well, we've currently, just to hit the top of the list, and this is in no special order. We've got to cover Worlds Collide. We've got to cover the Royal Rumble. We've somehow got to mention some interesting news that happened on Super SmackDown, and we've also got to cover, what I was up to over the weekend, and we've also got to talk about UKWA Finest Hour.
UKWA Finest Hour. Live this coming Friday from the Alsager Civic Centre. Tickets now at UKWrestlingAlliance.com.
Pretty much bang on.
Yeah, so we've got all that to get through, so we need to crack on. So shall we, at the flip of this imaginary coin, tails, I would just state while you call, heads is Royal Rumble, tails is World, which we start.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm going to pick the side of Worlds Collide.
Well, you can't do that. You've got to pick heads or tails, and it's luck of the draw, isn't it?
Okay, heads.
That's how a coin flip works. Annoyingly, it is heads, so that means you get to choose. So if you want to do Worlds Collide first, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, as much as Some people saying why, that is the first show that we came across, and unfortunately, out of the two overseas shows, is probably putting our best foot. Well, to some, putting the best foot forward. To others, not.
Yeah, essentially, it depends
bag.
Upon your point of view, but from our point of view, I think we're doing the best show first.
Well, but we do have a bit of bias.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get down to business, shall we? Yeah. However, before we continue, we have to have a warning message right now.
It's my turn, isn't it? Hold on. Deep breath. The following is a post-Watershed production and may contain scenes and storylines and language unsuitable to younger viewers, and may also contain language and opinions unsuitable to other viewers.
Or listeners.
This programme may also contain strobe lighting effects.
And there we go.
Yeah, okay. Basically, we may turn the air blue, specifically me during the Royal Rumble. The soapbox is polished and primed.
Or me.
You have been warned.
Or me when I'm also doing a soapbox or coughing up a lung.
Either of which we hope Matt Burns doesn't cough up a lung. He needs them where they are. But be warned, that also may happen. But yeah, this is pro wrestling. It's entirely subjective. These are our opinions. We're not trying to basically, we're not trying to influence your way of thinking. We're simply giving you, our opinions on events. Feel free to disagree, but at the same time, we hope you find them entertaining, because that's kind of the point.
Translation. Would you like the short review version? Basically,
go for it.
It may sound like we're telling you what to listen to. Nope, don't like it. Tell us. Make it a conversation.
Yes, exactly. Use our many social media pages if you disagree with us. 2, please remember to keep it polite. Tell us exactly what it was that you disagreed with us about and why. And, if you make a valid enough point and you're eloquent enough, we might even mention it.
No, we will.
Yeah.
We will, because anything, if you do send us a message, I feel as though, for me personally, it would need to be mentioned that, you've taken the time out for us, so we'll take out the time for yourselves. Why not? Anyway, down to business. To Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide, which was a show held... It was held in America, wasn't it? So big American pay-per-view feel. Houston, Texas, in front of a large crowd. Royal Rumble weekend. The Toyota Center. What was the crowd? 25,000?
I'm not too sure on the numbers personally.
I'm just looking on the Worlds Collide Wikipedia page. Other reference tools are available, but it doesn't actually say the announced attendance. However,
Wikipedia, how can you let me down?
But anyway, the point I was merely trying to make was, I think they said on the show it was somewhere in the region of 25,000.
Yep.
More than likely the largest crowd quite a couple of these performers will have ever performed in front of. So with that in mind, I think they did quite well.
Now, the interesting thing about this is, unfortunately, we weren't able to do any predictions for this due to time scheduling, being busybodies, and
in my case,
insanity.
Trying to finish the secret project, which I'll tell you more about when it's done. Hint, hint.
And for myself...
and just to completely make things even more mythical and confusing for Matt Burns, not the one you talked to me about off air earlier, something else entirely.
Ooh.
And in the case of Matt Burns, lots of wrestling and lots of other life stuff.
Pretty much.
So yeah, we didn't get a chance to do predictions, probably for the best. But shall we start with the pre-match then? Pre-show match?
Pre-show match, which was Kaylee Ray versus, Mia Yim.
Doesn't say anything about being for the NXT UK Women's Championship, so I assume it wasn't.
It probably just a straight up match, to try, get some revenge potentially, or just a great
Yeah.
contest.
Possibly a slight hangover from NXT War Games.
Potentially.
But anyway, a great opener. Kaylee Ray. Go on.
No, Kaylee Ray was against my both of them. Absolute knock it out the park. It's very rare that you get a pre-show match going over 9 minutes.
Yeah, given plenty of time, which is good because nobody wants a pre-show match to be like 2.5 minutes. What can you do in 2.5 minutes? But given 9 minutes, that's pretty good. In the end, Kaylee Ray won. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think everyone who wanted to see that show has seen it by now.
Yep. No spoilers here.
Yeah, Kaylee Ray won, so that was cool. But it was a great way to open, or not officially open, but get the proceedings underway.
Yeah.
The real starter of the show was epic.
Where do we begin?
I think the words hard-hitting sum this one up quite well.
And the scary thing about it is both men can do amazing promos.
Yes. Which, if you bear in mind, is they're in, I think, Ilya Dragunov's third language. He's really not doing bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's a naturalized German, but born in Russia. Speaks Russian and German and English. So he's not doing bad, is he?
He's doing not too bad, but let's just state this. We've got Finn Balor versus Ilya Dragunov.
Yes. Essentially, Finn Balor doing his, I've come back to prove that I'm better than everyone here, so if you're coming at me, you better bring your A-game routine.
You better bring your A-game and show no weaknesses.
Yeah.
And then you got Ilya turning around saying, yeah, you were right in what you said, but you missed a few things off my list.
Yes.
Meaning his viciousness, his ruthlessness, meaning he will...
desire to do absolutely anything to win a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, put it this way. Ilya Dragunov, in his post-match interview, was there. He stated, I can walk away with my head held high. Finn Balor said before the match, if you come at me, you better not miss. Did you see him? Did you see him after the match? I didn't miss. I have nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He hit on target and with thuds.
Yeah, neither man has anything to be ashamed of. Finn Balor came out on top in 14 minutes of an absolute war. That's just the best possible way to open a show, to advertise what you've got coming up for the next, I think the show was about 2.5 hours long.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Balor won with the 1960 DDT.
He did, his new finishing manoeuvre since his return to NXT, which is as brutal as it is refreshing. I got to be honest, I never really got behind the double stomp as a finisher. It doesn't work.
The coup de grace. No, I do, but do you actually know what the 1960 is?
The 1916 is a reference to the year that Ireland gained independence from the UK.
That's one. Did you know that he used the 1916 prior WWE as a finisher?
He probably used it in Japan, where they pride a sort of much stronger, stiffer, drop you on your head style, and so that would have been appropriate.
Which he actually originally called it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Bloody Sunday.
Yes. Which is a sort of... It's all good on the indies, but in a politically correct corporate, global company like WWE, perhaps safer not to. So 1916, you may think not a great deal safer, but obviously safe enough for WWE, so that's what it's called now.
I'm just double checking my facts right now in regards to the name of the 1916, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, go for it. I'll just talk amongst myself while Mr. Matt Burns uses the popular internet search engine to see if he can clarify that. This match, yeah, it had pretty much everything that you'd need from a big show pay-per-view opener, and yeah, right up to the finish where that DDT is. Well, there are as many different varieties of DDT as there are.
It is.
So it's one of the most, what's it called, variant moves that you can hit it in so many ways. But that particular one, nobody's going to kick out of that in a hurry.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it.
Me neither. Hell
anyway.
No. But yeah, great match. Finn Balor came out on top, but Ilya Dragunov, nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, definitely not.
And up next came the surprise match of the night, and in a good way.
Yeah.
A little injection of UK talent. Well, I say UK, one's from New Zealand and one's from the Republic of Ireland, but they represent NXT UK, so you get my point. In the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Correct. But the
Island Jordan Devlin... Sorry.
The scary thing about it is, each of them is essentially from a different country.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ireland's Jordan Devlin, Mexico's Angel Garza, the USA's Isaiah Swerve Scott, and New Zealand's Travis Banks. Really defining worlds collide in this one.
Quite literally. And this is
also,
for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, and it was also one of them, you have to call it a clash of styles, because if you say it the other way around, AJ Styles gets a bit umpty about you stealing the name of his finisher.
It's a
clash of styles.
Yeah, clash of styles.
Yes. Because you have, well, Garza, who has the lucha style, Isaiah Scott, who, well, I've yet to see.
He swears, everybody.
Absolutely. And then you've got Jordan Devlin and Travis Banks, who are two different flavours of basically what is close as you can get in this country to strong style. Basically, they'll batter you into submission.
But they've also got a good intellectual mind as well.
Oh, absolutely.
When my colleague was saying, they will batter you, they don't mean they'll just kick and scream and claw at anything. They will pick apart a body part.
Yes.
And wear it down with vicious strikes. And target a limb. But anyway.
Yes. Well, it was a fantastic match. A nice... what's the word I'm looking for? A nice counter to the opener. Because on top of the hard hitting, there was, of course, a fair bit of high flying as well.
Yep.
And a surprise winner.
Yeah,
I would not have predicted this right if we'd done predictions for this. I tell you, I did not see that coming.
I wouldn't.
However, I am very pleased that they did, because the guy that won, we'll tell you who in a second, but the guy that won has been saying for the longest time, things like words to the effect of, I back up what I say, and then the results haven't really been backing it up. So
yeah,
now he's got the Cruiserweight Championship. Finally, he can be like, yep, I've backed up what I've been saying all this time. This is the proof.
Pretty much. However, I feel as though by doing this, they might have taken away a bit of the storyline that I believe Angel Garza had.
Well, I'm not really sure what the booking philosophy for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship is, because since his return, it's kind of been... he came back, 5 minutes later, Lio Rush was the champion. Precious little fanfare. What seemed like 5 minutes after that, he lost it to Angel Garza. Precious little fanfare. Now Garza has lost it in this match. It doesn't seem like... Well, okay, the title changes are surprising and good and everything, but do the short reigns really help the people involved? I'm not sure.
It's hard to say. It can mean that the championship is difficult to hold on to, but...
I understand where they're going for it. I think it highlights the unpredictability of the Cruiserweight division, but...
Yep.
Yeah, well, just in case we've not beaten about the bush quite enough yet, Jordan Devlin won the match,
Yep.
and with it, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And frankly, it was a great showing by all four guys. They all showed what they can do.
Mm-hmm. That he did. And if I'm not mistaken, he delivered a headbutt to Garza. And threw
After
him out the
Garza had
ring.
hit the wing clipper on,
Yeah.
I believe, Isaiah Swerve Scott.
And then I believe he hit the
Followed
Devlin
it up
slide.
with the Devil inside.
Oh, Devlin side, yeah.
Yeah, and then pinned the champion.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, it's his first time winning this as well.
It is his first championship in WWE. Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations,
Anyway,
Devlin.
let's move
that
on
just
to the next
proves
match.
that, yeah, as I say, his catchphrase is now justified. Never bet against the ace.
Pretty much. But anyway, the next match
Was predictably match of the night. Because basically, as soon as you announce...
But then again, Finn Balor versus Ilya.
Well, again, yeah, that and the main event.
It was one of them. It was like, it's good! And then this match comes up. It's like...
Yeah. Essentially, though, pretty much any time you mention any of the four people in this tag team match...
Yep.
You pretty much know that it's going to be a strong contender for match of the night because they just don't know how to do anything else. Now, of course, talking about a tag team match between DIY,
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
For those who've had their head in a cloud on Mars for the last year and a half, DIY is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa against Mustache Mountain,
Trent Seven and Tyler Bate.
Yes. So both former NXT tag team champions.
Yep.
Both of DIY, former NXT champions, and Tyler Bate, the former NXT UK champion.
Yeah.
Fairly hefty privilege there. Not privilege, what's prestige?
A bit of prestige in this match.
Lots of gold has been won by both these teams. They're both at the top of their game, and as a result...
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect? Except... follow that. I get the impression that literally these guys could do this match and it would be match of the night in their sleep.
Pretty much.
It must be nice to be in the place that DIY and Mustache Mountain are in now, where they don't even have to try anymore.
They just walk out, cheered, done.
Yeah. It was an epic match full of fantasticness, all the stuff you'd expect from both teams, lots of team stuff. DIY eventually coming out on top, but again, one of those matches where, yeah, somebody had to win, but it didn't do any of the teams any harm at all.
It didn't, because the funny thing about it is, it had taken the fact that, you know, you got Ciampa and Gargano performing their old tag team finisher, meeting in the middle, which is a running knee smash and super kick combo on 7 for the win, and then directly straight after the match, you know, you got DIY showing respect to Mustache Mountain by shaking their hands and hugging them.
Shaking their hands and holding their arm aloft and appreciating what a fantastic match they've just had.
Pretty much.
It was epic. It was brilliant. It was, well, you know, we've had 4 great matches now. How the hell do you top that? Well, the answer is 2 more competitors who can pretty much literally be unconscious on autopilot and still have a great match with each other because they know each other inside out.
Oh, pretty much.
Don't think they know everything about each other. It literally, it's going to be great.
Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Pitting.
The Worlds Collide element of this being it was pitting the now NXT superstar and incumbent NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley against NXT UK's Toni Storm.
Former
NXT UK Women's Champion. Well, both of them are, in fact.
Correct.
There have only been 3 NXT UK Women's Champions, and 2 of them were in this match. The other one was in the pre-show, just in case you're wondering. The current reigning and defending.
Yeah.
There you go. But this match, yet again, something totally different to the match before it. Brilliant in its own way, but not the same. A great way to come down from DIY and Moustache Mountain. You know, bring the crowd down a little bit without in any way being bad or detracting from what the girls were doing.
And it was still a hard-hitting contest.
Absolutely.
Still massive.
Fantastic.
And in the battle between the 2 friends, the 2 people who know each other so well,
the 2, you could argue, former friends. I'm not 100% sure what's going through Toni Storm's mind right now, but it obviously affected her because unlike when she unseated Rhea Ripley for the NXT UK Women's Championship, she came up short this time.
Yeah. The funny thing about it is the wrestling business can be very, very tricky, narrow. Enemies can be enemies, friends can be friends. And
then friends can be enemies, just like that. Just ask Tegan Knox about that.
Ouch. Well, you could ask me a bit later about that, because I may actually have some interesting things to tell you about with the wrestling I was doing over the weekend.
I'll try and remind you about that later on, but yeah.
I know. No. It will be mentioned, and it will quite surprise you.
Ooh, me or the listeners? Because if it's both, great.
Both. But anyway, let's straight down. Let's get down to business. As we stated, Rhea Ripley defeated Toni Storm
to retain the NXT Women's Championship. In the main event, we had an 8-man tag team war. I don't think the word match does this justice.
Well, you knew that this was going to be a war, and you've got to give it between both teams. However, it felt as though that the Undisputed Era were trying to be a little bit hungry and a little bit ahead of themselves.
A little. It was, of course, we're talking the match was the Kings and ultimate number 1 faction of NXT UK, Imperium, that being NXT UK champion Walter, Fabian Eichner, Marcel Bartel and Alexander Wolf, against the Undisputed Era, who were at the time of the show the NXT champion Adam Cole, the NXT Tag Team champions Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and the NXT North American champion Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
So lots of gold on display again, and basically 2 teams who are the absolute dominant forces in their relevant promotions, relevant brands, I suppose is the WWE correct term, knocking 7 shades out of each other to see who was the dominant team.
Now, a lot of people would have assumed it was over when Wolf suffered an injury early in the match.
Yes, Alexander Wolf. Combination of moves led to him not quite achieving the landing he would have liked, I think, and knocked himself unconscious.
Yeah.
The referee immediately spotted it, made the signal to backstage, and he was removed from the match for his own safety, something he acknowledged afterwards. He said, caught up in the heat of the moment, entirely my fault. Sorry, I couldn't help the boys, but then again, we live and learn.
But then again, he may not have been helping his boys, but
it seemed
they were on a war raid. They were on a tirade, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Because, if I'm not mistaken, 3 members of Imperium against 4 members.
Undisputed Era. And yet, Imperium were able to overcome the odds.
Yeah.
And win the match.
If I'm not mistaken, we had destruction everywhere. Tables being slammed. And, announced tables being smashed to pieces.
Yes. But I think both teams had loose cannon, shall we say?
Yeah.
in, I think, Adam Cole and Alexander Wolf. Both teams had a ridiculously powerful, strong guy who could just throw anyone around in Fabian Eichner and Roderick Strong.
Yep.
But I think the loose cannon, the X factor, if you will, was just the pure power of Walter, which, as strong as Roderick Strong is, the sheer size and power of Walter, Undisputed Era didn't have anything to match that. Unless you count Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as one, the tag team as one person kind of thing.
And even that wasn't enough.
No. They smashed each other all around the ring, all around ringside, broke lots of furniture. It was an epic way to end the show, and Imperium won, which means overall, I think, if there were 6 matches, if you include the pre-show, it finished 3-3.
3-3.
So a nice round thing. Neither side was superior. Both sides showed off a lot. Both sides showed what they've got, and both brands have a very bright future.
Yeah. However, let me just state this: before we move off NXT, we have got to cover one thing.
What would that be?
To do with the Undisputed Era.
Okay, do go on.
The prophecy is over.
Prophecy is over. Thanks on this week's NXT, last week's NXT, to the unstoppable force that is Keith Lee. What? You want me to make? What?
Right. The limitless force.
Yeah. That is Keith Lee, who is your new NXT North American champion.
And now that championship is limitless.
Are you basking in his glory yet?
Pretty much. But anyway, however, have you seen who he's got? Has his number one contender already?
Yes, I watched this week's NXT. That was a bit of a barn burner, wasn't it?
Good Lord.
Can I just add to the very long list of reasons I'm glad I'm retired as an in-ring performer, unless it's an absolute emergency and I'm getting paid through the nose. The move, Feast Your Eyes. Never want to be on the receiving end of that, ever. Good God above.
I would say I've never experienced it, but probably knowing my luck, if I did, I probably wouldn't remember it after.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think after that match, I think Damian Priest woke up about 5 minutes ago, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we're talking in tongues. We're not revealing what we're talking about. But on this week's NXT, the number one contenders match for the NXT North American Championship was between Dominik Dijakovic and Damian Priest. You waited for me to say that, didn't you? Because you can't pronounce his name.
What? No, I can.
Oh, no, I just thought you sighed after I'd said it.
No, I'm not, that's not a sigh, that's a... Oh,
yeah.
What a match.
Because Dominik Dijakovic and Damian Priest, who knocked approximately 700 shades out of each other.
And let me just point this out. These are the matches that both guys need to keep pushing forward.
Absolutely. They just need people who they can absolutely not only push to their limits, but who will push them to their limits.
No kidding.
Wow. Yeah. So the new number one contender to Keith Lee's newly won NXT North American Championship is Dominik Dijakovic, a man he's been on both sides of the fence with. Pretty much.
And they're going to go back to war.
That promises to be a war, and it will be amazing. But yeah, NXT TakeOver Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this weekend?
Portland this weekend?
I believe so. Bear with
following
me.
weekend.
Okay, we don't need to do predictions this week then.
No.
That's a relief because at NXT TakeOver Portland, as announced on this week's NXT as well.
Yep.
The challenger for Adam Cole's NXT Championship will be
Daddy.
the man he fears most, the man who never lost the NXT Championship.
The man who calls himself Daddy to
The
his
man who calls Championship Goldie.
Pretty
That's
much.
right, none other than the Psycho Killer himself, Tommaso Ciampa.
You know, the one who's declaring that Goldie is coming home.
Yes. It's one of those rare examples of semantics that I don't quite understand, but WWE PG Universe. The nickname Psycho Killer, not acceptable. The nickname Sicilian Psychopath, somehow more so. There's a very fine line between those two, whatever. Anyway.
It sounds like we had a bit of technical difficulty there. We apologise, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, we digress.
I don't know what you heard, but anyway.
We're beating around the bush.
Yeah.
We've ended...
I was just running through, at TakeOver Portland, that will happen. Also, just need to briefly mention to wrap this up, because we're doing NXT, the winners of the 2020 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Yep.
Who will receive a tag team title shot against the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish at TakeOver Portland.
Yep.
On none other than Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne.
Bruh.
I am not using their tag team name. I am not. I refuse. It does not exist.
Well, what's the matter, bro?
Well, I'll just be blunt, shall I?
Come on, even Pete Dunne even said bro. Better yet, I'll just say it for you. They are known as the Broserweights.
Yeah, I'll just be blunt. That sucks.
Why?
Because everything with Matt Riddle is a dreadful pun with the word bro in it, and they get worse. They started off at, rock bottom, and they get worse every time.
Hang on. Pete Dunne is known as the Bruiserweight.
Yes.
They were going to make a pun of it. They're making them sound like, like a tag team. Who knows? They could be called something else. Although you may have a bit of a laugh at the tag team name I had to use recently. Later.
What was it puntastic?
More on that later.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up Worlds Collide. It also wraps up what we know about TakeOver Portland so far, which is indeed not happening this weekend but next weekend, so we'll do predictions for that next week. Shall we move on to the WWE Royal Rumble?
That we will.
The 33rd annual.
However, due to massive time constraints that we do actually have, we will have to speed this up.
Yeah, we'll keep our opinions to a minimum if we can. We'll just run through the results as quickly as possible. So shall we start?
Correct.
Pre-show.
Pre-show.
Match number 1. Sheamus versus Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Yeah, WWE's alternate name for Chad Gable also does not exist. In a singles match, the returning Sheamus, who's now obviously over all the health issues. I think it was a concussion, amongst other things, that he had that's kept him on the sideline for 9 months.
Yeah.
And had a victorious return, beating a willing, but just, I don't want to say coming up short.
No. Willing and Gable.
Willing Gable. But, I didn't want to say he came up short. That was all. But I have now, so never mind. Sheamus defeated Chad Gable despite his best efforts in the opening match. In the other pre-show match, there was a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. Andrade, when did he win the title? God, I should watch.
Pause for a minute.
Take a deep breath.
Really, WWE? Really? WWE
I watched
United
this match.
States, no. WWE United States Championship. Is it ever going to get out of the pre-show match?
What, bearing in mind that it didn't even manage it when AJ Styles held it, I'm guessing no.
If it's
it's
not,
been held by AJ Styles, Ricochet, and now Andrade, people who are all proven champions at NXT
and
or WWE level.
worthy of being on the main show.
Absolutely, but not. Hey, look on the bright side. At least it had a match on the pre-show. Did you see the Intercontinental Championship anywhere at the Royal Rumble?
Huh? I have no idea what you're on about.
There was a match on the pre-show featuring the United States Championship. The Intercontinental Championship was not even defended. It might as well.
I have no idea what you're on about. Oh wait, yes I do, because who owns the belt? Who's got the belt?
Well, I know now, but who he won to win it, I've got absolutely no idea.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh yeah, well, he wasn't in the Rumble. He didn't defend the championship. What's going on there?
Basically, WWE lost faith in him.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
It's almost like if you want a belt to go missing, or no.
He essentially,
no.
If you want a title,
I will rephrase that, because I was about to say, if you want the belt going missing, just give it Brock Lesnar.
well, that's
but anyway. Back to it. If you want a belt to sort of lose, certainly not get defended as much, not through the ability of I can't be bothered, but more so in the fact that WWE can't even bother booking them.
Yeah.
Give it Shinsuke.
Shinsuke Nakamura, which is a shame, but yeah.
It
not
is.
even on the Rumble card. But anyway.
And the IC title has got so much prestige.
Absolutely. Well, the United States Championship has, despite WWE's best efforts, because it goes back nearly as long, albeit like 2/3 of that history was in WCW. It's still a prestigious championship.
Correct.
So anyway,
which technically I'm surprised WWE hasn't tried to change. That's not WCW history. That's WWE history, because they own everything.
Well, they probably consider it as such now because it's been 20 years nearly. So
Yeah.
Anyway, we are again deviating.
Digressing. Let's continue.
The first match of the main show: Roman Reigns beat back Karen Boring.
Oh no! We need to go back. Before we get to that. We were still on Andrade, because Andrade with Selena Vega defeated Humberto Carrillo. However, we have to point one thing out from Raw right now, which is to do with Andrade. Andrade, technically, on Raw, didn't drop the United States Championship to Humberto, even on Raw, even though he is in trouble for breaking his first violation of the wellness policy.
Really?
Yes.
Has he been doing a passable impression of Rob Van Dam?
Oh no, he hasn't gone that far yet to get his company kicked off Twitch yet.
No, but
sorry. I'll discuss that one a bit later.
Yeah, we'll come back to that another time. But no, first violation of wellness, but not lost the championship yet. But anyway, Andrade on the show defeated Humberto Carrillo to retain the United States Championship. The first match on the main card was a Falls Count Anywhere match, pitting Roman Reigns against King Boring.
King Corbin. But anyway, we digress. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match. This is how much I think of this match, personally. Roman Reigns won. I'm okay with it. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is this going to be the end? Is this going to be the end of the feud? No, it isn't.
Is it boot? Roman Reigns won, which means it's now 1-1, which means, guess what, folks? Rubber match at WrestleMania.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was rubber match at Super SmackDown.
Oh.
So
they'll
it
find
could
a way
be
to
over.
shoehorn it in.
But it could be over.
Well, let's bloody hope so, because frankly, 21 minutes and 20 seconds of a Falls Count Anywhere match was about 15 minutes too much with Baron Corbin involved.
Right. However, on the Super Show, Corbin lost a loser eats dog food match.
Which is pretty much up there on a par with shitty match stipulations involving dogs, with the fate that befell poor Davey Boy Smith on an episode of Raw back in the 90s.
Or The Kennel from Hell match.
Yeah, Davey Boy getting slammed in dog shit, the Kennel from Hell match, eating or getting covered in dog food. Leave dogs alone, WWE. It never ends well.
And yet, it's still not as bad as one match I remember from WCW. But in case you want to check, if you want to know any about them, check one of our previous broadcast episodes. You'll
Absolutely.
know what match
Yes.
it is. Anyway,
Definitely. Plus, also, lots of WCW shows and pay-per-views are on the WWE Network, so you can go back and relive the horror in glorious 90s Technicolor if
Great,
you
man.
so desire. Why on earth you would, I've got no idea. Moving swiftly on. The next match on the Royal Rumble card was the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Right.
Where the winner will get a Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 36 against whoever they choose, who is a woman and holds a championship.
Go first, please.
This match had lots of things to redeem it. It was great. Standout performances from the likes of Shayna Baszler.
Nice return from Naomi.
Blink and You'll Miss It. Main roster debut from Chelsea Green. Blink and You'll Miss It return for Liv Morgan.
Yep. Oh no, Liv Morgan went back for a bit.
Oh, okay. Nice. No fewer than 12 NXT and NXT UK women in the show.
Did you forget about the Glamazon?
Sorry?
Did you forget about the Glamazon?
Beth Phoenix?
Yeah.
No.
I thought she was on.
Yeah, she counts as NXT talent since she's a commentator there. Yes. 12 NXT superstars plus, was it 3, I think? 3 free agents.
Right.
Bit of a, we need to pad the card out. How do you fancy a go? In the form of Kelly Kelly.
Yeah.
Mighty Molly. And it that shall not be named.
What?
Entrant number 29. That's what I'll refer to them as from this point.
Would you like me to do it for you?
Well, I don't really want to talk about it, so yeah.
It's Santina Marella.
Yes.
Did not see that one coming. Anyway.
Didn't. In my wildest nightmares think it was possible, but anyway. A good debut as well from on the main roster for recent full-time NXT signing Mercedes Martinez.
Yep. But anyway, let me just point this out.
Yeah.
With Martina, that makes it a first time unique time where someone of the opposite sex has been in the Women's Rumble match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, unfortunately.
So there you go. But anyway.
Not something that anyone will particularly want to dwell upon, I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, let's move. Stand-up performances, as I say, from, to be honest, mainly 2 people, and they're both NXT people.
Right.
In the opening part of the match, Bianca Belair, and towards the close, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. Right.
I love the fact that they gave a main roster debut in the Royal Rumble to Shotzi Blackheart, despite the fact she's been on NXT all of one match.
Right, okay.
Good to get someone over.
Yeah. Would you kindly
break
the news of who won and give us your input before I get my soapbox out?
For fuck's sake, Charlotte Flair won. Why did she have to? I hate my life. Your turn.
Right. Soapbox and rant warning. All I'm just going to state is this. The original scheduled plan was actually Shayna Baszler. Do you know why it switched?
No, but I'm going to hazard a guess. It was a bitchy bullshit backstage politics reason, which doesn't stand up to any scrutiny.
Well, let's see what you think. The rumour has it is the fact that Charlotte Flair won because she's been getting a lot of promises that she hasn't been getting rewarded on, and she was due to have a win.
Whatever. Charlotte Cena, get back in your box.
No. she was due to get one, and that supposedly, the way it looks on the outside, she's getting all the chances in the big matches, yet she's not getting much in the back locker room, supposedly. Right. The issue I have with this is, if that is the case, then I feel sorry for Charlotte Flair. However, the message that is coming across for Charlotte Flair right now is at WrestleMania, again, fighting for a women's championship.
Yes. Again.
And
she really is the female equivalent of Baron Corbin as well.
Oh, no. It's going to get worse.
Out she comes. Oh, God.
It's going to get worse for you. It's going to get worse.
Really?
Yes. You ready for this? Have they decided on which belt she's going for?
Of course not. Otherwise, she'd have announced it by now.
There's a rumour going round they may already have it, but they're wondering if he does go for it, they'll put a decline on the division, and taking her off her current show, will that diminish that female roster side? Are you ready for this?
If you're about to say NXT, I think I'm headbutting the wall.
Could you repeat that again, please?
I swear to God, if the next words that come out of your mouth are NXT or NXT UK, I'm going to go and find a wall to start headbutting. I mean, seriously, it's bad enough that if she goes to WrestleMania, she's probably going to spend about 8 minutes making Bayley look like a simpleton and then winning the SmackDown Championship and undoing all the good work they've done with Bayley's heel turn. But it's even worse if she heads straight to NXT and, with absolutely no fanfare, goes, yeah, guess what, Rhea Ripley? I'm pulling the rug out from under you as well. Sod off back to the back of the queue, because I want my championship now. Boo-hoo, wah. I get what I want because reasons I can't quite fathom.
Are you ready for this?
Jesus, I didn't think I was going to get on the soapbox. Apologies, go on.
Right. She can't go for Becky Lynch, because if she does, straight away, that takes away the rumour of Ronda Rousey coming back. Rumour.
Yeah.
She can't go for Bayley, because that's a heel versus technically almost heel. Well, face versus supposed face, but even actually
that's heel, because that's what Charlotte Flair is, regardless of what WWE try and tell you, versus Bayley. Say heel.
Heel.
Yes.
Right. There is one bright side.
What's
to
that?
her challenging Rhea Ripley.
What would that be?
NXT gets a main event on WrestleMania.
Yes, that, let me just tell you, is the only upside to this horrible scenario.
Yeah, but rumour has it supposedly the reason why she won is because she's been getting a lot of promises, not being held, they've not been held up on, she's been holding up her end, but the other end haven't been holding up for theirs, and that details are very convoluted in that she hasn't been getting what she's been promised, which makes me wonder, if she hasn't been getting what she's promised, what more could she want?
What the blue fuck have they been promising her?
Because if I'm not mistaken, she even went from one championship to another, and she even joked about it herself. I know I lost, but guess what? I'm in another championship match.
Yes.
Because
it was basically the worst possible outcome that they could have done for the Women's Royal Rumble. But guess what, folks? WWE really didn't have long to outdo themselves in the shit stakes.
Yeah.
Because after the Women's Royal Rumble, we had a brief period of sanity. Well, I say sanity. Where Bayley, thankfully, defeated Lacey Evans, who, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but whisper it.
What?
Is actually growing on me as a performer, ever so slightly.
What?
I no longer want to turn the television off the moment she comes on. That's as much as I'll say, but anyway. Bayley defeated Lacey Evans in a singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which was far and away the shortest match on the card.
Yeah.
Don't understand why they won't give Bayley the time of day, but whatever.
Lacey Evans.
Well, there is that, I suppose. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, defeated Daniel Bryan in a 1980s stipulation strap match for the WWE.
Whoa. Don't beat around the bush on this match. This match, what I thought was entertaining because they both told the story and Bryan took some beatings in this match.
No, I was absolutely saying it's a 1980s stipulation that I didn't think was going to work because I didn't think it had any fit place in 2020. I was wrong.
Yep.
For someone who's... Excuse me.
Go on. You okay? You breathing?
Just about. Yeah.
And
I'll
yet
try again. For someone who's had...
And yet I thought I'd be coughing up lungs, but instead it seems to be me co-host.
Yes, wonders never cease. Just like I was trying to say before I got ambushed by the hacking coughs. I think it was George.
Okay.
George Hackenkoff, you know, the legendary former wrestler.
That was just bad.
Terrible. Anyway,
bad,
for a man who's had as many career concussions as Daniel Bryan, I'm amazed at some of the things that he got pasted around the ring in that match.
Yeah, but it goes to show how much Daniel Bryan loves wrestling.
Absolutely. And in the end, it made both guys look good. It actually elevated the title and the Fiend, and so it did its job.
Yeah.
Likewise, the next match, the singles match for the Raw Women's Championship, actually did its job as well.
Yes.
And elevated both participants.
And Becky Lynch recovered.
Yeah. Asuka did not look weak. She only lost because her own cheating backfired.
Yep.
Becky Lynch looked strong because despite the fact that Asuka has up until this point had her number fairly comprehensively, she wasn't outclassed at any point.
Yep.
And the right result, Becky retained to head into WrestleMania and, I believe, 1 year solid as Women's Champion by WrestleMania.
Yes, correct.
Nice. And now we come to the have you put your soapbox away yet? Because I haven't, and it's now time.
Wait. All I'll say is, the first Rumble match, the women's one, is how to get the wrong pick.
Yes. The result...
The second one, the men's, how to pick the right choice.
Oh, the result and the winner, unexpected, brilliant, magnificent, and fantastic. How they got there, infinitely less so.
Please continue.
Oh, dear God. Soapbox and swearing warning imminent.
And maybe some male crying.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Men are allowed to have emotions. However,
Correct.
Apparently we're not supposed to swear in public. What can you do? I may break that rule in the... Seriously.
I just thought I'd just point that out because I know there's a moment that's going to be in there where I'm going to have to say something about this one moment, and I'll have to mention a statement of a meme, internet meme that I came across that made me laugh. But anyway, continue on.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry. Shinsuke Nakamura was in the Royal Rumble.
Yes, he was.
He was, however, in the first 25 minutes of the Royal Rumble, which I refuse to acknowledge exists.
And I believe you've even got some special guests at your area.
Just now, yeah. If you heard a noise in the background then, my cat, Pumpkin, has decided to come and join the broadcast because he wanted to express his opinion, which I believe you heard, that he thinks the first half of the Royal Rumble sucked too. Because he was sat on my lap while I was watching it and he got up and left while this was on.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you can't find a more accurate descriptor of great wrestling than if my cat likes it, and he did not like this.
Correct.
And I did not like this either. Essentially, do you know who I feel sorry for in all of this?
Go on.
Elias, Eric Rowan, Bobby Roode, John Morrison, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Big E, Cesaro, Shelton Benjamin, and Shinsuke Nakamura, as well as, to a lesser extent, MVP, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet. Because every single one of them lasted many variations of less than 2 minutes. I think Kofi was the longest lasting in just over 5 minutes because, hey, as a former and fairly recent WWE champion, he was allowed to actually get a bit of offense in before every single one of them was treated like a year 2000 WWF metal squash match jobber by Brock, feed my ego or I'll leave Lesnar. Hint, hurry up and fucking leave. Nobody likes you. You're a half champion because you don't turn up 2/3 of the time. You ruined the Royal Rumble for me. Go away.
You're not better, are you?
I tell you what, do you know what? There wasn't so much a match of the night in the Royal Rumble for me as a moment of the night. And it wasn't so much one moment as two. It was the combination of...
No. For me, there's 3 moments.
Well, for me, I suppose it's technically 3 moments. It was a combination of the moment Ricochet's foot hit Brock Lesnar's ballsack, the moment the Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre connected with Brock Lesnar's face, and the moment Brock Lesnar's overpaid, disinterested arse hit the mat, having gone out over the top rope and finally granted us a Royal Rumble match.
Right.
They were the moments of the night.
I'm going to try to play a bit of devil's advocate now.
Good luck.
Right.
I'm going to take a deep breath. Over to you.
Right. Brock Lesnar is a shrewd businessman because he is maximising his money for his appearances. Yay! What does that translate to fans? We're fucked.
Yes.
Basically. It means we get to see him less, but he gets more money.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. In one sense, that's absolutely fine. Less Brock Lesnar is actually more Brock Lesnar. It's a good thing. We don't want to see him. No. However, the fact that he's holding the company to ransom for this money and he's holding the championship to ransom means we don't have any fucking choice.
Now, my issue is with it is, if Brock Lesnar came back full time, I'd be actually even more happy at that. I would. He won't.
I would, but I hate him because he won't.
He won't because he's stated he's not a people person. He's done it with the whole big thing now. The problem is, WWE are relying on him to say, push my title. How can he push when he's not even fucking there?
Exactly.
And the Royal Rumble...
Push what? Push your bloody shadow?
Right. And the Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken, is meant to be to fight for a shot at a world championship.
A world title, which was completely defeated. Genuinely, about 15, 18 minutes in, I thought he's going to coast to coast this and fight himself at WrestleMania, and they're going to get the lowest buy rate for WrestleMania ever because no one's going to watch. For this?
Do you know what I thought was going to happen at one point?
What?
If he actually won it.
Yes.
I honestly thought he was going to do the following. Win it and go to WrestleMania fighting either the WWE or the Universal or NXT.
Yeah. Well, in Brock Lesnar's mind, don't get me wrong, he would probably have liked to have coast-to-coasted the Rumble. One, not had to defend the WWE Championship, found his way into a triple threat match with the NXT and Universal Champion at WrestleMania, beaten both of them, and then taken all 3 off on holiday. Because I don't think much less than that will satisfy his fucking ego.
Right. However,
luckily, that
hasn't happened. Instead, the deed has been done. The seeds have been sown.
And at WrestleMania, we have a new hero to cheer on against the interminable beast of boredom.
And if I'm not mistaken, he is From where's he from?
I believe he's from Ayr, and by that I don't mean the stuff we breathe. I mean the place in Scotland.
He is Scottish. He
Yes.
is the former chosen one. He is the Scottish phenom. He
He's
is
the Scottish psychopath.
Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Who not only did he win, was also the Iron Man of the match.
With a time in the match of 34 minutes and 11 seconds, which was as long as anyone was logically gonna get, thanks to the first half.
However, the third place Iron Man impressed me.
What, Roman Reigns?
No. No. I don't think he was.
According to the Times on the WWE Royal Rumble Wikipedia page, the longest was Drew McIntyre with 34 minutes 11. Second was Brock Lesnar with 26:24, and third was Roman Reigns with 16 minutes 01.
He was outbeaten.
Ah, yes, he was. Quite right. It's because it's a stripe different colour to all the others.
Ha!
The free agent, who was bronze, third place in the longevity ranks, and also eliminated 3 people.
Yep.
One of which drew a round of applause from me because it was Randy Orton, and frankly, the sooner he gets kicked out of something, the better these days.
And this is where the meme comes into play. Where, are you ready for this? This is a return. This is a return because, by the way, we had 2 interesting returns, 2 free agents. One of them being Montal Vontavious Porter, which I never thought I'd ever expect.
MVP. I never thought I'd say that. No, absolutely not. But
however, this one,
he was unfortunately one of the sacrificial lambs fed to Brock Lesnar, so he was literally in the match for 24 seconds.
He was, but he did actually make an appearance on Raw against Rey Mysterio,
which is cool.
But anyway, this person is somebody. Let's say this: the name I'm referring to is somebody classified him returning more epic than Undertaker losing his streak.
Really?
Do you want to know how?
How?
By stating, when Undertaker lost his streak, boys cried. When this guy came back, men cried.
It's quite a bold statement to make.
No. Don't be honest with you.
Go on.
I actually think it's fitting.
Really?
Not because of what you think.
I think it's fitting.
Because,
honestly...
No. Because I think it's fitting because as much as I can say the Undertaker streak was amazing and epic and it shocked us, yes, it was shocking that Lesnar did what he did. It was more of relief and adulation for this person to return. And when you saw him in the ring, you could see the weight lifted off his shoulders, his neck, and all that pressure he's had so much bottled up from not being able to wrestle.
Yes.
And in case you're wondering,
we are, of course, talking about the returning legend, Jeff Jarrett. No, of course, we're not talking about Jeff Jarrett. I just wanted to pull off.
You know me. The Rated R Superstar. The ultimate opportunist. Yep.
And 11-time world champion. Forced to retire in 2011 through injury, but as the old saying goes, time is a great healer.
Correct.
We are talking about Edge.
I legit, as much as I could see him saying, I was like, he's going to make a return. He's got to make a return. And then when I saw the numbers coming in, I'm like, he's not returning. He's not returning. And then 21 came in, and it's just, you think you know me. And I was like,
yeah, that tune.
and I was like, oh, good Lord. On this day, I see clearly. I'm sorry, I had to. It just made me smile from ear to ear.
To be fair, before the event, I think there was only one person potentially equally, I'm not even going to say less, potentially equally unlikely to make a return.
Yep.
You know who I'm referring to.
Go on.
Hashtag pipe bomb.
Yeah.
But, wow, Edge actually came back.
Yeah. And he didn't just come back.
I know. He absolutely starred in the Royal Rumble.
That he did, but I'll mention what happened on Raw briefly after.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll just briefly mention before we wrap up with the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Two things. One, congratulations to the winner, Drew McIntyre.
Who has announced who he's fighting.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar.
Awesome. That's going to be a beating. Unlike the Women's Rumble, which had 12, just 2 NXT members making up this year's Men's Rumble. Matt Riddle.
Yep.
Whom had a good showing, albeit brief.
Yep.
And Keith Lee, who went toe-to-toe with Braun Strowman in one of the most electrifying moments of the whole match.
And actually outlasted Braun Strowman.
Yes.
In time.
Which is quite impressive.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it was during the banned segment of the match, which nobody's allowed to talk about because it didn't happen. Yeah. The whole thing was an example in a Rumble of 2 halves. The first half,
yep.
Seriously, what are you playing at? The second half almost made up for it, and then that winner did make up for it because just as much as Edge actually returning,
now
nobody saw that coming.
Correct. However, are you ready for this?
Probably not, but go on.
This was another Rumble finish that was switched.
Oh. Well, switched for the positive, I might add this time.
The original
but why?
person
What was it originally going to be?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, good God. Correct decision, WWE. Well done.
And you're not going to believe who was arguing it.
My guess is Roman Reigns was probably arguing against him winning because he's quite sensible.
No. The person who was arguing for Roman Reigns was Vince McMahon.
Yes.
You'd think he would have the final say.
Well, yeah, you would have thought so, what with him being CEO and everything. But
yeah.
The person that argued for Drew McIntyre to win... Hang on. So Vince McMahon wasn't arguing for his former chosen one?
No, he wasn't. Would you like to know who?
My guess is Triple H.
Wrong.
Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Ah.
Paul Heyman got through to possibly to Vince McMahon to go with the chosen one.
Which was a good choice.
And he is now a chosen one. My God. Drew is a face on Raw. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. You know, 3, 2, 1. Claymore.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much, if I'm not mistaken. However, Drew did kind of destroy the OC. Whoops.
Really?
Beat them in a handicap match.
Why is that? Well, okay, yeah, I see why that's a whoops. But, you know, things happen.
Oh, no, he beat the crap out of him.
Fair enough.
Claymore.
But essentially, the OC were just the unfortunate ones who were put in that handicap match. He's got to beat a tag team on his own.
Oh, no.
To highlight the fact that he's capable of taking on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no. They came down to try to go, you want to fight? Bring it. I'll take you both on. And did it.
Yeah. Epic.
However, I've got to cover one story briefly from Raw, which is a moment where I will state had people cowering and holding their necks.
Oh, God, it was that horrible moment, wasn't it? Yeah, what was it? 9 years after retiring because his neck was fucked.
Yep.
Yep. Edge decided to, well, essentially risk having it fucked permanently and never being able to move again.
He didn't. He didn't have a choice in this matter.
Really?
Orton
I think you'll
called
find.
Edge to the ring
Yeah.
and asked him if he wanted to bring back Rated RKO,
Yes.
even though he did eliminate him, but he knew it was just nothing personal, it was business.
Yeah.
Edge went for accept it. Orton then just RKO'd him. Out of the
Silly.
blue.
Silly. Well, where else?
Wait. It then got worse.
Yeah, go on.
Orton then left the ring to grab 2 chairs. You can see where this is going.
I don't want to, but unfortunately, yes.
He placed the chair underneath Edge's head and proceeded to lift said chair. He looked like he wasn't going to do it, to then legitimately blast that chair to oblivion.
Wow.
And then just sat there and watched and looked at his handiwork. Orton looks like right now, a heartless monster.
Well, that'll be because he is.
Right. Anyway, back to the other piece of news that we unfortunately didn't cover, which was to do with the Intercontinental Championship. We preluded to it earlier that Shinsuke is no longer the Intercontinental Champion. Do you know why?
Yes.
Little
One
gentleman,
word. Bellowed at the top of your lungs.
Go on.
Well, you know, the person in question's first name, but you can't just say it, you have to shout it.
Braun!
The very same.
Pretty much. Took care of business, didn't fall for the, corner being pulled down, and basketball Shinsuke onto it while the referee wasn't looking, and just power slammed him to oblivion.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all done now. That's all the news we have for WWE.
Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment.
Yes.
Yes.
Shall we get over to the UK scene?
Absolutely. We briefly were there for approximately one half of Worlds Collide, although, as I had to explain to my not wrestling enjoying family, the whole Worlds Collide aspect rather took over more than the NXT versus NXT UK, because, what is it?
Go on.
3 Americans and a Canadian represented NXT, and NXT UK was represented by an Austrian, an Italian, and 2 Germans. Yeah, okay.
It happens. But talent
Yeah.
is talent. Hey. We still got the main event win.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, we're not complaining there. Anyway, let's get down to some UK wrestling, which is myself.
Yeah, featuring none other than Matt Burns.
Right, I'm going to mention 3 shows. 3 companies, which is United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling for You. I'll mention the Academy Pro Wrestling one first, which was on Saturday night. I believe it was called Condemned.
Ooh.
Where I was actually just there, just in attendance, watching the show. And I got to see somebody from the UKWA make his debut.
Sorry, where were we?
Academy Pro Wrestling.
Aha, cool.
And let's say this. I am so glad I put that one in disclaimer, because he was in a tag match and his tag team name is something that I cannot say without swearing.
The tag team are called a name which has profanity in it. Is that what you're getting at?
Pretty much. It was Big Mike Wild, Charles Kelsey, and they were known as Two Big Bastards.
That's not a swear word. That is a correct technical term for an illegitimate child.
And these guys are monsters.
Yes.
Anyway, top to bottom, the entire show was absolutely epic. I will say it was. This is how epic the show was. It started at 7 and finished at 20 to 11. That's how.
So
epic it
nearly
was.
4 hours. That's almost Royal Rumble territory.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how big and epic it was. And I will state, one triple threat match, I will say had some hard hitting. Zack Cooper, Kildare, and I believe, I'm just trying to remember names right now.
This is the one downside to him being wrestling on the shows, guys. He took such a savage beating that his brain is still currently blancmange and he can't remember who else was on the show.
Funny. He's actually been a wrestler for us, actually, I believe, for UKWA.
Okay.
And for some unknown reason, me head's just gone. Kieran McQueen.
Kieran McQueen. Aha. I was going to say, he has been on UKWA shows.
Yes.
And
let's just say this. Kildare literally decided to think it was clever and slap Zack Cooper.
I'm guessing, just tying this into a UKWA theme here, I'm guessing that would be on a par with standing in the same ring with Regan and insulting his mother.
It was kind of like standing there. It was kind of like standing there in front of Walter saying, "Chop me, I dare you."
No, I'd imagine it was probably like standing in front of Walter, taking his shirt off and saying, "Your chops are shit, mate."
It was. I kid you not. The slap I heard. I thought he dislocated my jaw from hearing it.
Wow.
Oh.
That's quite impressive.
Legit, it was hard hitting.
Yeah.
But anyway, amazing show, top to bottom. Highly recommend. And if anybody, and they do actually have a site and channel to go check it out. But to find them out, go onto their social media, and please check out their amazing quality content for Canadian Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, we'll get on to the first show I was wrestling at, which was United Wrestling on the Friday. Now, originally scheduled program, you've heard this card subject to change.
Yes, we've heard that. It's a common thing with wrestling.
It happened. I thought to myself, I'm just doing a Rumble. I'm lucky. I've got a late number in the Rumble.
Yep, I'm just going to sit back, saunter down to the ring, and do my best to win the Rumble. If I don't win, I get tossed straight out. So be it. I've made the name. I've appeared. What more can you say?
Right. Well, anyway,
guessing it didn't go down like that.
No, when I arrived, due to certain changes of the card, I ended up being thrown into a tag team match.
Ooh. Extra exposure for you, but also potentially more of a beating. Yes.
However, I didn't take a beating in this match. I dished some of the pain out. Unfortunately, a bit of miscommunication happened. It was me and Baby Joe versus the Myatt Legacy.
Wow. So the Myatt Legacy.
Yeah.
Where did Keith park his blue box?
Yeah.
That man's been wrestling that long. There's got to be some witchcraft going on there.
Let's just state this. It won't be the first time I've encountered him over the weekend.
It wouldn't be the first, and going forward, it probably won't be the last.
Highly doubt it. But anyway, highly doubt it, because especially with the history I've got with him at the moment.
Yes. Well, the history you've got with him anyway, but amplified by...
One kick?
Say, the bad blood.
One kick?
Yeah, basically, he may live to regret ever doing that particular kick.
Pretty much. And so his son as well, who did it on the previous United show as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So each of them, I owe them a bit of a swift kick myself. Well, anyway, we digress. Baby Joe put in a valiant effort and everything. Took a bit of a beating. I managed to get in and start pretty much shaking things up. We had to do some quick tags, and just as we were about to finish, Keith Myatt off while I'm holding him, and Baby Joe went for a super kick. Unfortunately, the crafty veteran Keith Myatt managed to slip my grasp.
He will do that. He's hasn't you haven't been around as long as Keith Myatt has without learning a trick or two.
And at which point, what was coming towards Keith at the time before he escaped me?
Something tells me it was your tag team partner.
His foot.
Did you eat your own tag team partner's foot?
Clean on the chin.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
Not me for a loop. I was that disorientated. I had to try to roll. I ended up falling out the ring.
Oops.
And while I was disorientated, they took advantage of the situation and hit the legacy drop.
Ended up. Yeah, that's not good. So you didn't win.
Which is
dreadful shame.
Which, in case anybody wants to know what the legacy drop is, 3D.
Ah, I see.
Pretty much. All I'll say to you is, I've got to give Baby Joe his valiant effort. He went to a beating.
Fair enough.
And believe me, when they give you a beating, they can give you a beating. Which I'll explain. I'll probably explain that one a bit later. In the next few minutes. All I'll say to you is, after the match, he had some cronies out there, none other than a few boys. One of them got thrown in, and we demonstrated how the Rumble works by throwing him over the top rope.
It's always good to give the crowd, who may be a bit slow in the uptake, a bit of a demo. Yeah, no harm there.
A bit of a quick teaser. And I turned round to Baby Joe, shook his hand and raised his hand, and stated, no hard feelings in regards to what happened.
Fair enough.
Miscommunication, it happens to the best of us.
Indeed it does.
Anyway, got into the Rumble, managed to get quite far, however, didn't expect to get managed to be thrown over the ropes, however, didn't quite hit the floor. I managed to be on the outskirts. While I was trying to catch a quick breather, I believe I made a slight error. I should have managed to get myself back in the ring. Unfortunately, while I was vicariously on the outskirts, I was baseball drop kicked out by Ryan.
You were on the apron on the outside of the ropes, having gone over the top, and so instead of finding your way back in the ring, you got kicked to the floor.
Couldn't, because I was pretty much fighting, and take into account I had the tag match just before the Rumble.
Yeah, you had the last match, yeah. So, unfortunately, you did not manage to win the Rumble.
No.
Shame, but there you go.
However, congratulations to the winner. But anyway, which was none other than Tommy Taylor. The United Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion.
Nice.
Anyway, I digress. Anyway, let's get to Pro Wrestling for You. Shall we?
Yeah, why not?
Where I was against the Might legacy again.
Again, second time in the weekend.
Second time.
Okay, who was your tag team partner this time?
Ooh, that's gonna shock you.
Again, shock me or shock the listeners?
If anybody watches UKWA, they know that they would know that me and this person don't exactly see eye to eye.
I see. Oh, right. So was it just one of those sort of the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of deal?
Pretty much, seeing as the Mites have been kicking us both in square in the privates.
Basically, the Myats have a good line in toes connecting with testicles.
Pretty much. And would you like to know who I tagged with?
Someone who you don't get on with in UKWA.
Have never tagged with.
You didn't, did you?
Have never tagged with before, ever.
You weren't lumbered with Christopher Drew as a tag team partner, were you? You have my pity.
No. Think somebody who even I have to admit have to still give credit to. We don't always see eye to eye, but let's just say this. On this, we did. He is the current longest reigning UKWA King of the Kingdom champion,
Charles Kelsington.
Charles Kelsey.
Wow. So yeah, it was a case of I don't particularly like you, but I hate them more, so bring it.
And to have a bit of humour,
yeah,
we decided to call ourselves the Jolly Boys.
I see.
This is where I was referring to the tag team name earlier, if you remember.
Yes.
We were known as the Jolly Boys, and we had a Jolly Boy adventure, Jolly Boys out adventure.
Outing, yeah, a bit of jolly fun, kicking the crap out of a geriatric and his son.
No, kicking crap out of two plonkers.
Okay, that works as well.
But anyway, however, we didn't get the win.
Yeah, but you had good fun having a go doing it.
Let's just say this. Do you remember when I said, the Mites are crafty and everything?
Yes.
Take into account, in the United match, they managed to capitalise on Baby Joe.
Yeah.
They can capitalise on anybody. And who better to know that firsthand than me? Because unfortunately, they managed...
Was it your turn?
They managed to capitalise on me and pretty much savagely beat the living daylights out of me.
That which is one of the reasons, listeners at home who are keen to understand, why there was no Burning Truth yesterday and why it was postponed until today.
Pretty much as I was still trying to recover.
Yes.
Let's just state this. I managed to get one gush of burst of air where and you've seen the wrestling ring that we use at UKWA. Same ring as the pro wrestling for you ring.
Uh-huh.
How far is it? Halfway?
Halfway? 10 feet.
You ready for this?
Go on.
I had to somehow dodge. I'm in the Mite corner. I had to dodge Ryan running at me, and then follow up by ducking Keith Mite's clothesline to pretty much leap from halfway to pretty much
to the corner. A good 9 or 10 feet.
Literally leapt and literally tagged in Charles Kelsey and hit the floor.
Yes.
Well, hit the canvas.
To roll out under the bottom rope while Kelsey cleaned house, or at least that was the plan.
As much as it is. However, due to me being pretty much dazed, confused, and battered and bruised, just as I was getting up, I got cheap-shotted by Ryan, who had entered the match. Was already involved in the match when Kelsey was ripping both of them a new one. However, as I went off the side of the ring,
Yeah.
and hit the hard floor. Unfortunately, I had to find this out after the referee came up to check up on me.
I see. Because you were at that point pretty much seeing stars.
I'd hit the floor pretty hard.
Yeah.
Now, where's the referee?
Let me guess, being distracted by the Myats doing some illegals.
No, the referee's checking up on me.
All right. Oh, which means he's not there to watch the Myats doing some illegals.
Pretty much. As Keith Myatt swiftly kicked Kelsey.
Right in the balls. Let's not beat about the bush here.
And pretty much hit the legacy drop.
At which point, he checked on you. He was happy you weren't dead. He got back in the ring and counted 3.
Yeah.
Sucks, but that's life. Judging by your weekend, that's not the last time you will come up against the Myats, and therefore you'll get revenge at some point.
I have to state, take into account them from me. So I have to give them their respect. They know they certainly know how to bring the competition.
Absolutely.
I have no issue with that.
No
issue
at all. It's just not fun when you're on the receiving end of it, that's all.
However, I'm not going to say I'm going to make it any harder for them at UKWA. Not at all. Fair enough. They beat us bending the rules, but
yeah.
I believe there'll be another Jolly Boy outing down the road.
Let's hope so.
Anyway.
Right, that pretty much wraps up your weekend. As we said, that's why we didn't do the broadcast yesterday, because Matt Burns was still more black, blue, purple, green, and other colours of bruises are probably available than he was normal skin colour. He's recovered a bit today, so we need to move on to our last
topic, which is none other
Finest Hour.
Which is none other than UKWA's Finest Hour. Now,
this Sunday, All Sages Civic Hall.
What? Did you say Sunday?
Sorry, this Friday.
I was about to say, this Friday. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7.
Also, just call UKWrestlingAlliance.com for tickets.
Pretty much. Or you can buy tickets on the night.
Indeed.
However, VIP tickets are selling fast.
Yes, they are.
They are.
You will be able to catch both of us in attendance at the show. I might be available to stand and natter with you if the show hasn't started yet, because I won't be commentating if the show hasn't started. Mr. Matt Burns will probably be a little bit busy, so catching him might prove a trifle more difficult.
As I will be running the show and dealing with any shenanigans.
Essentially.
Dealing with shenanigans, chaos, and... Would you believe it? Would you believe it?
Probably not. What?
I am actually currently working on something, 2 projects.
Ooh.
One of them is going to change the future. Well, actually, both of them could change the future of UKWA.
Yep. Can you give us any more than that at this time?
One of them, a video, may be presented soon.
A what, sorry?
A video showing a slight preview may be presented this week before the show.
I see. And will that be available on UKWA social media?
It will be appearing on there as a link to, from a link directly from our YouTube page.
Which is cool.
Coming soon.
Oh, well, you've been busy then.
We've also had Charles Kelsey running his mouth off, which we'll get to that. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because I believe they had the news broken to them in a fashion they didn't like. Whoops.
I believe any fashion would be didn't like if it was bad news, but Charles Kelsey hardly needs an excuse to run his mouth.
But anyway. We're digressing, we're beating around the bush. Let's get through the card.
The card for this Friday's UKWA Finest Hour at All Sages Civic Hall.
Correct. And this is in no particular order.
because it won't be finalised until, well,
On the day.
until Matt Burns finalises it.
Correct. First up, we have got Chase Alexander versus CJ Rollins.
Ooh, cool.
Now, this match will be a highlight reel. And this is a match I can see possibly bending the future of who could be next in line potentially, because these pair have been on my radar for a long time, and I've been wanting to get them in the UKWA for a while.
And now they've got their chance. I'm sure they'll seize it with both hands.
This could be one that could actually, bend possibly the future, and and
could
whoever
make you reconsider quite a lot of things.
pretty much. So there's going to be, as much as at the moment doesn't sound like there's much riding on this. These pair are wanting to show who is the top dog and who deserves to be at the top, challenging for gold.
So while it's not an official number one contenders match, more might be riding on it than just any other match.
It's one to watch.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
Also
on the show, we have got Troy Goose.
Yep.
Also known as Big Papa Goose versus submission specialist James Terry.
That's gonna be again. Watch out for the copyright clash of styles.
It is going to be unique because Troy Goose is not a small bloke. As we've been doing the countdown, I believe that the statement went out. Troy Goose bringing the pain with his gains. But James Terry's been fighting. He's been training hard. He knows a lot about his submissions. He's one person who does his homework. He knows what he's doing with certain submissions, and who knows. This is going to be an interesting one because two very contrasting styles. However, I do think that Troy's going to be using more of the heavy hitting style against James Terry, but James Terry's going to be showing how much heart he's got, and the fact is, it could go either way.
It really could.
It could go either way. But anyway, I'll go back to Chase and CJ. That match could go either way, but that's going to be a highlight wonder. That is going to be a potential match of the night, I'll even go far as to say.
Well, all of them have the potential to be, but I know what you're saying.
Right.
I know what you're saying. Anyway, the third match. Again, we should just stress, these are in no particular order. These are just the order we're revealing them. If you've been following UKWA social media, you'll already know these matches because they've been revealed. But this is just for the sake of you guys listening, to be honest.
Correct. Which Dan, Ajax and AWOL versus Dougie Matthews and the Myats.
Interesting.
Now,
which one of Ajax and whatever the other guy was?
AWOL?
Which one of them's the tag team then? Because unless I'm very much mistaken, Dougie Matthews and the Myats is 3 people.
Yep. AWOL would be the tag team.
Uh-huh. Consisting of?
Benjamin Harland. And come on, Jack Knutsford.
Aha, yeah. Sorry, I'm, of course, this because I'm
Jack
a pro wrestling
Knudsen.
oracle. I'm just, in case the people at home don't know.
It is Jack Knudsen.
Ah, right.
To pronounce it correctly. And Benjamin Harland. Both of them. It's interesting because AWOL have been under the Myats tutelage, but they've now come to, it's sort of, the Myats are saying, you need to do it our way. The old school way. It's like, well, and AWOL are saying, well, we don't want to cheat. No, normally
we have no particular desire to bend the rules, so obviously with the Myatt
Yeah.
spending the rules come second only to breathing, so you can see where there's a clash there.
Correct. And unfortunately, usually AWOL has 3 members because Andre is normally with them. However, Andre is prior engaged and busy. However, did manage to contact a fellow brother in arms in Ajax.
Let's
Now,
face it, not exactly a bad substitute.
Correct. And which, however, at this point, Dougie pretty much turned around saying, "How dare you disrespect the Myats? As such, I'll put you in your place, Ajax." As such. And it's gone from there, pretty much.
So now we have a fantastic 6-man tag team match, which is awesome. Moving on to match number 4.
Match number 4, which is the triple threat match. Which is Eddie Cobain versus Stephen Keen versus Big Rich.
All 3 you will know from previous UKWA shows. Eddie Cobain as a member of the tag team Club Tropicana.
Yes.
Stephen Keen, absolutely no slouch. He's been in the Fatal 4-Way, I believe, at Sugar Rush.
However,
and
I need to point out,
Big Rich doesn't need a second introduction.
Correct. Because Big Rich did have a losing, in the debut show, was in a losing effort to a certain Malicious One.
Yes. Paul Malin, fact fans.
Correct.
But yeah, that triple threat match.
He made Paul Malin pay for that. But anyway, I've just got to point one thing out. This is a triple threat. This is a unique matchup. I thought this would be very interesting. However, I've actually spoken to Stephen Keen, who we've been going back and forth. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, why has this come about? I thought this match is going to be unique and try to get some risings in the stock because, all 3 of them haven't had a win yet.
Yeah, and that is something that all 3 of them will be. It will be all-consuming to all 3 of them to try and put that right, which means there'll be fireworks in that ring.
Correct. And also on top of that, I actually had a chat with Stephen Keen because of a previous incident, if you recall, with the Black Country Bulldog.
Yes.
Where he viciously attacked him. Now, in case anybody wants to know what has happened in regards to that situation, because there's been no further updates, I'm about to update you now. Basically, what ended up happening because of that, because of the vicious attack, UKWA could not be held responsible of the actions of the Black Country Bulldog. However, yes, he was in the Rumble at the Ready for War show. However, he did not have a direct UKWA contract. It was one night only. He was trying to make a name for himself. It was all been reported, dealt with, and I made sure that health and safety comes first, and wanted to make sure that Stephen Keen was okay throughout the process.
Yes.
Because at the same time, I had to also hold back Stephen Keen from actually going out to try and hurt the Black Country Bulldog.
Which is, frankly, not something we want. But Stephen Keen will be at the next show. A certain other person will not.
Correct. But anyway, as we state, Eddie Cobain, if I'm not mistaken, was the first Academy Pro Wrestling champion.
Yes.
And he is the current number 1 contender for that championship at Academy Pro Wrestling. Sorry for the spoiler.
Yeah.
Big Rich is, as much as you can say, yes, he is. He hasn't had a win in UKWA. He has been gaining some victories outside. He is one of the biggest men in the company. Would you mess
with him? The name
him?
Big Rich is not an understatement. Let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
I would no more want a wrestling match with him than I would want to steal his lunch.
And take into account I've wrestled him twice.
Yes. You're still breathing? That's quite some miracle.
First time I almost wasn't.
Yes.
He almost broke. He technically, I thought he actually broke and fractured his ribs.
Yeah.
Second time,
So,
different story.
yes, essentially, that's going to be a hard-hitting match. Have you got the ring reinforced?
Ring is all secured and prepared for the chaos.
Wonderful.
Although, I will state, I did have someone sending a message, trying to send a message to me in regards to this. It was incoherent in regards to it.
All right.
He was talking about, Ezekiel, I believe John 3:16, the good book and everything.
Okay, I'm lost.
Pretty much. And that these three sinners will pay.
Hang on. Somebody sent you this message regarding the competitors of that match?
Only through an email, not video. If it was a video, I would have been releasing that video. And
how incredibly cryptic. I assume answers to what on earth is going on there might be revealed at Finest Hour.
Pretty much. However, if someone is that delusional to get in the ring with these three...
Seriously, yeah, you want to make that match into a fatal four-way? Good luck, pal.
Good luck, but however, make sure you sign a waiver. Make sure you come down to my office and sign a waiver.
Before you set foot in the building. Quite right. Okay, and so that's 4 matches, so is this next one the last one, or are there 2 more?
No, there's 2 more.
Oh, sweet. Right, so the 5th match is...
This one was originally to be scheduled as All Elite Express, Regan, and AJ Hughes.
Yeah.
Versus Shropshire Hardstyle originally.
Connors and Black.
Yes.
Okay. It is, however, no longer that.
No, because All Elite Express decided to... how do I say? Try to slide the odds into their favours?
Did they try and incapacitate their opposition?
They managed to incapacitate CJ Connors.
So, is it now a handicap match?
No. As most people know from the video that was released, let's say this. Drew wasn't happy.
I can completely understand.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he even had his own scarf clamped on his own neck, courtesy of Basham and Joe Black, tag team partner.
Yeah.
Let's say this. The person who I'm referring to, he is a tall guy. He's none other than Woody Anderson.
And he has stepped in, I assume, to team with Joe Black?
Correct. That he has.
Against
All Elite Express. And the weird thing about it is, you think this is the only time these pair are paired up? It isn't. I've seen them pair up at FCW.
Well, that's good. That benefits them, because a well-oiled machine like the Express needs stiff competition. So if they've worked together before, well, the crowd are in for a war.
And let's just say this. And Woody, you thought Joe Black is agile and quite strong.
Yes.
Anderson is big enough to technically chokeslam Kelsey.
That's quite big.
And
because Kelsey is not small.
And I actually watched Woody Anderson at Academy Pro Wrestling hit a moonsault.
Yep.
And he's over 6 foot.
He's over 6'5", I'd imagine, but
yeah. I'd say he's about 6. He's about Kelsey's height.
Yes.
Not many guys that big will do it.
Nope.
But he did. But anyway, that
Spoiler
match
alert,
is going to be...
I once saw Crater hit a moonsault.
True, but anyway, let's say this. This match is going to be hard
He left
hitting.
one.
What?
Sorry, he left a crater. Never mind.
I got you.
Move on.
I got you. This match is going to be hard hitting, devastating. All Elite are going to be wanting to wipe out Anderson and Black, and Woody Anderson and Joe Black are going to be wanting to get revenge on All Elite Express.
Absolutely. So expect no punches to be pulled there. It will be a fight.
Correct.
Have
and
you
I will
left the next match, which is the main event, until last?
I'll get to the main event, and I will also be issuing a warning as well after the main event.
I see. Just a reminder, we're running through the card for this Friday's UKWA Finest Hour at All Sager Civic Hall.
Correct.
Both of our attendants at, and which will get lots of news out in next week's broadcast.
Correct. That you will. And let's
Right,
just
run
make
through
this.
5 matches so far. Are you doing the warning now or after the main event?
Warning after.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. This will be for the UKWA King of the Kingdom Championship.
Yes. Therefore, I can fairly safely say one half of this match will be the current reigning, defending UKWA King of the Kingdom champion, Charles Kelsey.
Correct. Against.
So, for those who have not seen any social media posts which may have revealed it,
Correct.
who's his opponent, please? Matt Burns.
None other than the Ready for War winner, Kit Knox.
You ready for War Rumble winner? The stipulation for said Rumble was a title match of his choosing at a time of his choosing, I believe.
No. You get to choose the stipulation of the match as well.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. So not only does he get a UKWA King of the Kingdom Championship match, what stipulation has he chosen? Or I take it this is where the warning comes in.
Let's say this. Kit Knox impressed me with this choice.
Right, okay.
Massively. Because I thought personally he was going to go for a cage to make sure Charles Kelsey can't escape, put it in a ladder.
And to make sure the rest of the elite can't get in, yeah, we know.
A ladder so he can climb up because he's the more agile. No. He wants to take on Charles Kelsey head on. Alone. I know what you're thinking. How can he do that? Kit Knox has banned all members of All Elite Express and the UKWA General Manager, Christopher Drew, from ringside.
Oh, wow. So it is literally nobody can interfere.
Pretty
Who
much.
might have, well, I say nobody who might have any vested interest in doing so.
Well, I'm pretty sure that, Kit Knox, Shropshire Hardstyle will not be getting involved on behalf of Kit Knox because they wanted it to be fair.
Yeah. Shropshire Hardstyle, unlike the Express, actually believe in upholding the rules, and so...
Correct. However, let me just state this for the record. If I catch a member out there...
If we so much as see one member of All Elite Express...
If I catch
or General Manager Christopher Drew at ringside, what will happen?
I will be dropping the hammer.
Will you be uttering Vince McMahon's 2 favourite words?
Oh, no. I will be heavily fining, and there will be repercussions. However, in regards to Christopher Drew, you can be at ringside for your other 2 matches as well. As in, you can possibly be at ringside for Dougie, because I know he's one of your boys, part of All Elite Express as well.
You can be at ringside for the tag team match as well.
You cannot be at ringside for Charles Kelsey. For Charles Kelsey's match. However, if I so much as catch you getting yourself involved in the other matches...
You mean if he so much as tries to influence the result?
Yep. remember me stating I had a 3-strike rule?
He's already on strike 3, isn't he?
I'll explain this one. First strike was 0 hour.
Yep.
Second strike was Sugar Rush.
He's on the third and final strike.
You think I was going to give him a strike at Ready for War. However, he did take a bit of a beating from the bad girl, Chantal Jordan.
Yeah, which earned him a slight reprieve.
Yes. If you cross the line with me, it will be 3 strikes and you're out.
You literally will be out the door on your ass.
Pretty much. So I will be uttering those famous
Vincent Kennedy McMahon's favourite words.
Pretty much.
Lovely.
Because I will state this. I have given more than enough leeway, Christopher Drew.
Yep.
I've been more than fair, been more than gracious for you. I understand you're a shrewd businessman. Don't push me.
Couldn't be said any more clearly. And that, as if you didn't have enough already, should be more than enough reason to go to UKWrestlingAlliance.com to reserve your tickets now for this Friday's UKWA Finest Hour at All Sages Civic Hall. Tickets also available on the door.
Oh.
And to be available to be seen, if you can't make it on the night, shortly after the event on Turnbuckle TV.
Could not have said it better. Oh, and to just point out, I don't think if the rumours serve right with UKWA that have been going round, because there are rumours, he's not going to be able to hide behind my business partner for much longer.
You'll have to go to the show to find out what Matt Burns means by that, cryptic fans. But I think that's pretty much a wrap for this week because, well, frankly, I want it to be Friday already because I want to be commentating on Finest Hour and I want you to all be in the crowd witnessing it firsthand because it's going to be one hell of a show.
That it will be, 100%. Oh.
Yep.
With that, next week we'll be probably discussing the fallout of UKWA Finest Hour.
Because there will be plenty.
That there will be.
So yeah, that'll be next week's. I forgot the name of the thing then. I was going to say something entirely that wasn't the Burning Truth podcast.
Ooh. Oh dear. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to say the name of another broadcast or anything. It was going to be something completely random and different, but trust me, it wasn't the Burning Truth, so let's not go there. Moving on. We'll just get on to the plugs. What I'm just going to do here, I'm just going to go quickly through them right now. Please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. For photography needs as such, please check out Tony Knox, Jessica Servo, photography, and K Swift photography. And please also check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. They do amazing beginner classes, which, if I'm not mistaken, are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. For all location details, check out on their social media. Also, check out JFX3D, especially because they do some amazing custom-made championship and other works. Who knows that one of my projects could be linked with them. Maybe. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
And, of course, check out charities like Mind, Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes Recovery Radio, Messy for Mind, Donna Louise, all great charities. Amazing. Honestly, cannot recommend them anymore. As such, we, of course, also recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling by checking out none other than Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew.
Wrestle Crap, you're welcome, RD.
And of course, OSW Review, you're welcome, OSW guys. Of course, we also recommend you check out Polo Pass Radio Show, which is hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams, where you can talk all things geeky, nerdy, and Marvel and DC. We, of course, recommend you check out We the Independent, Podcast. Another podcast we recommend you check out is Train Pop Culture. We also, of course, recommend you check out Think Wrestling, which is hosted by none other than...
Not the Fourth Doctor, but he is a UKWA co-commentator of mine, Mr. Tom Baker.
Correct. We, of course, also recommend you check out Fabaloony, where it's part-time all the time. And, of course, we also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music UK. Yes, the custom-made music that they do is absolutely amazing. I've actually had some made by them, which I will be hopefully debuting soon. I wonder what day I could debut that on.
Might be the one after Thursday, somewhere in Greater Staffordshire.
Potentially. And, of course, the actual theme music for The Burning Truth. We, of course, also highly recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV, where...
Turnbuckle TV.
How much?
The home of UKWA and over 30 other UK and Ireland wrestling promotions. Yours for the low price of just $3.99 a month.
£1 a week.
Yep. Can't get better value than that, unless we're talking about not paying for anything at all, e.g. free, which brings us nicely on to...
Well, not yet. Hold on.
One of these weeks that link's going to work.
You're not going to get into that straight away. Not yet. But anyway, Turnbuckle TV.
$3.99 a month.
Remember, if you do actually sign up, do it through the company that you are wanting to support, as it will help most likely.
Turnbuckletv.com/UKWA. You can do that for any of the other promotions available. That was just an illustrative example.
Correct. And, of course, we also recommend you check out your local wrestling shows. Just case in point, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling View, On Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, SCW, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling, The Barracks Wrestling,
Future Shock Wrestling, ICW, PBW, Progress Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You. No, you said that one.
What, Preston City Wrestling?
Preston City Wrestling. No, PBW, Premier British Wrestling as well, the Scottish promotion.
And many
ICW
others.
And many more.
And for all your own case of purpose, if you can't find your local promotion, just load up a nice snazzy little app that's free.
That's free, as in completely and totally no payment required.
Correct. And you can actually basically use it from your current location to find your local promotion that's closest to you.
App is called
Babyface Wrestling UK.
Yep. You can also follow wrestlers through there, and I believe there is a profile for a Mr. M. Burns.
Correct. And you can also follow your favourite promotions on there as well. Please follow UKWA, because for some unknown reason we're not too far from WWE on that list, actually. I know, interesting. But anyway, we digress. We also recommend you check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. You know what's on there, of course. We also recommend you check out the social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. We have past episodes on Spotify. And with that is a wrap-up for this week.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything we needed to say. So thank you very much for listening. We'll see you for the Fallout episode from UKWA Finest Hour next week on Sunday as scheduled.
Correct.
Until then, thanks for listening.
Don't rush. But anyway, before we shoot off, as we always say, please stay well and stay safe. And we don't just mean that physically, we also mean that mentally, because your mental health is just as important as your physical well-being. And it's okay to be not okay. And always remember,
it is not a sign of weakness to ask for help.
Correct. And you never know. You might find out you're more loved than you can ever realise.
It might take for you to hit what you think is rock bottom for you to realise the support network is there for you. You just didn't know.
Correct.
But if you think you need it, please don't hesitate to ask.
Don't ever hesitate to ask. Even if you wanted to message us yourselves, we've always got message boxes open for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until then.
And until then, if Matt Burns hasn't coughed up a lung in the meantime, we'll see you next week.
We'll hopefully see you next week at our usual... Well, not next week. This Sunday.
This week, yes, this Sunday. Except, of course, unless we see you this Friday at All Sages Civic Hall.
Correct. Or if there's any... We have to make any arrangements, or we have to cancel, or something comes up, we will make you aware of it through our social media.
Absolutely.
Until then, we'll hopefully catch you at the next broadcast. Until then, or the next episode. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and as always, please check out your local wrestling. Until then, catch you later.
Ta-ta now. Bye-bye then.